Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another day that the market is down. Today we're down a 10% on the whole crypto market, and that means there's a lot to talk about. So if you guys enjoy the daily crypto news, make sure you press the like button and subscribe to show your support for the channel. And if you have a specific coin you want to talk about, put it in the comments section down below. Just quickly go to the comment section, write XRP man, or Ethereum man, or Bitcoin Cash, whatever you want to talk about, and we'll talk about it. Buy the dip. Google searches go parabolic. Everybody's been talking about buying the dip on Twitter. Everybody's been talking about this huge 10% decrease in price for Bitcoin, but for XRP, for Ethereum, it's all kind of the same. They're all going down some 10% Really crazy time. Really crazy. Volume is being ramped up. A lot of volume popping over, coming in. But really, it's a really crazy time, guys. I didn't expect this to be so heavy. But all right, let's get into the first article of the day. Buy the dip. Google searches go parabolic. Well, of course, as anybody could guess, even in the face of a $26 billion loss of market cap in 24 hours, there's always a bright side to look on. Google searches for buy the dip have just gone through the roof. Buy the dip Google searches skyrocket. Now, stock markets are in a free fall, as both London and Frankfurt opened 8% lower today. That is ridiculous. But if you check out the article on the New York Times, if we just quickly check it out right here, US stocks were halted after 7% plunge, and there's still live updates in here. S&P down 5.5%, Dow Jones 5.6, Nasdaq 5.05% down. This is really heavy, right? This is no joke, really heavy. Some prices are going to be really changing us up, and the way that everything's going, I think the hoarding mentality is going to be kicking in just a little bit here. And I would also recommend people maybe to get yourself some extra toilet paper, maybe get yourself a couple of extra things, not because you would really need it, but because people that do not think rationally might do crazy things and might leave you hurt, right? You can see the markets are reacting like crazy because of the pandemic. And I think we should prepare a little bit for a little bit of a worser case scenario. Not trying to push people to buy everything in the store because it's about to be crazy. But just think about other people who are not thinking as rationally as you. I mean, we've most likely all seen the videos of people fighting over toilet paper already, fighting over canned food, fighting over bottles of water. I've seen it all on Twitter come by. So I'm just telling people right now to just think about those people who do that type of stuff, who might make your life miserable by not leaving anything for the normal people. Just think about that. Just think about it and do with it as you please. Stock markets are in free fall. There is one thing that's going up sharply though, and that's the number of people searching for buy the dip on Google. In fact, if you look back over the last 5 years, you'll see a massive peak of interest shooting up in a straight line amid the global carnage. And of course, this buy the dip is not specifically to Bitcoin, crypto, or anything like that. It also goes for the rest of the stock. But realistically speaking, even I know my investments, I know what I want, I know what I'll do. I still am kind of wondering what some of these bigger players are thinking, right? I have not searched up by the dip, but I can understand why even traditional investors will be like, all right, but these stocks are down so far, so should we buy them now? And it's a very common thing to think because we've not had a recession in so long. We've not had prices tumble like this in so long. People don't know what to do. People don't know. The Big Depression is already 100 years ago, right? So many things are just kind of lost. People don't quite remember the 2008 crisis. They don't really remember how it all went and how to react to things. And that's what I just explained to you guys with the other people who don't act rationally. They'll act irrationally, and where emotions come into play. I always recommend people to also think about those guys when you're doing your daily life things, when investing, but also specifically when, I guess, buying groceries in this case. Just as a refresher, buy the dip is a typical pro tip that means purchasing an asset after a sharp price decline. However, How to know exactly when a dip will bottom out is another question entirely. So the big thing you should always go for then is not to buy everything you can, but buy pieces. Since right now we're at the start of a pandemic, right? Anybody could guess that. We're at the start of a really huge decline downwards. And decline is always downwards, but you get it. If Corona now, which is most likely my biggest concern, if you check here on Twitter, you'll see on the side here, most of the time it's 4 of them, or at least 3 of them are Corona, right? In this case, Corona Netherlands, COVID, coronavirus, RIVM, and Aldi. Well, at least 3, sometimes 4, sometimes even 5 of those are Corona hashtags. Definitely a big thing right now. Stock markets are definitely reacting to this, and everybody's asking, should we buy? Same goes for crypto, same goes for Bitcoin, same goes for XRP. People are asking, should we buy right now? My personal tip is, if you're gonna buy in smaller quantities, because it's not looking like this quote-unquote pandemic that we're seeing right now is gonna halt. It's kind of looking like it's gonna push through for quite a little bit. And I just find it so fascinating that a couple of months ago we hypothesized that something like this would happen. We were like, all right, what's going to cause the next recession, and what type of thing was it going to be? And one of the possible scenarios was another global crisis in the terms of health, some health crisis. And it's kind of interesting how this, to my personal knowledge now, is really pushing prices. But should you buy? Well, that depends on what you think is going to happen to COVID and the whole situation surrounding that. If you think it's going to clear up, buy yourself a frick ton. If you think it's gonna be here to stay or not at least deteriorate, don't buy yet. All right, either buy a small piece or wait, because prices are going to be falling downwards more, at least for traditional stock. With crypto, it's looking that they're following traditional stock. When people lose interest or lose the hope in markets, lose their need for investment or lose their interest in it, you can see prices fall downwards. And as of yet, it's looking like people also like to take their money out of speculative things like these cryptos here. At least that's what it's looking like. We don't know yet if these things are going to be resistant to a global crisis. Maybe they'll even react completely contra to it. We just don't know it yet. And that's where it's not really worth the risk, as any point you buy right now could be 20, 50, 70% too high from where we could be headed if the global crisis continues and these cryptos react similar. They have a high correlation. It could be the case. We don't know yet. We don't know yet because it's such a big crisis. Well, many traders call buy the dip when they believe that the underlying asset is a strong thing in the long-term uptrend. Now, that's where I think buying the dip is actually a idea. It's not a bad idea. It's actually quite a good idea, but with margins. I will keep telling you guys to buy the dip because you're just really almost guaranteed. Again, that's my own opinion, my own personal opinion on this. Entertainment purposes, not financial advice. I feel like we're almost guaranteed to make money on these things over a longer term. Am I expecting XRP to reach a higher point than this in the future? Yes. Bitcoin, same. Stocks, same. So from that perspective, any point you buy right now is profitable over a longer term. But just the question is, when do you get the most out of your dips? And when do you, not lose a lot of money at first? That's the big question. And that's where, with margins comes into place, where you just try to buy as low as possible and do not spend all your money for it to first go down for the next couple of years and really wait. Well, that seems to be anything but the case when it comes to global stock markets. Most analysts believe that the worst is yet to come, as the combination of coronavirus fears and an inflated bubble cause deeper losses. So if you guys have ever had a economic class in maybe like college or in high school, or I don't know how it works in America, university, whatever, you guys will know that there's different phases to any crisis. Anybody knows that. There's different phases in which people do crazy stuff. And one of the phases that comes really is when there's so much fear, and that's really the basic thing behind a recession, right? There's multiple, measurable things to go for. But one of the most important factors, which you don't really go into in your economic models, is of course the fear factor that people have. And in this case here, there's fear for a virus, so people are less likely to spend money, right? Because if it's looking, well, that's two sides to that. If it's looking to do really bad in the future, people really are not that keen on spending money. They want to save money for when things hit the fan. Second of all, people will not invest more because they want prices to be lower before they invest more. And that will become a kind of a circle where people just spend less, which will mean people will produce less, which means, things will become, you guys know where the spiral will head. And that together with this inflated bubble that people are predicting, I think this has more to do with crypto. There's an inflated bubble kind of for the stock markets right now. As I said before, no recession for 12 years, which makes people kind of scared about it. But also because kind of Bitcoin and the whole crypto market has often been compared to a bubble. We all know that. We have all seen those tweets before. And I think this inflated bubble, the fear of that one is also really cutting deep into the crypto markets. I think that's one of the causes as well. However, that shouldn't be the case with Bitcoin is what they say. But I do think it has part of it. Since people are always thinking like, all right, crypto has been doing good in, good times, but what will it do in bad times? And since there's fear about it, people don't like to go for it. With the Bitcoin halving approaching, many analysts have already confirmed that the number one cryptocurrency is already firmly back in a bull market. Okay. Moreover, some traders using technical analysis have pointed out that the crypto prices are getting ready for their next big markup, Bitcoin Jack commented on March 5th. He quotes, "Buy the dip on everything in the next 2 weeks." So here's his own analysis. Here's his 2 cents. Buy the dip on everything in the next 2 weeks. March 20 equinox has perfect confluence with the GAN projection made here, or made where price should find balance, the previous bull run 6,400 to 5,500, and ready itself for the next big markup. Red diag down is leading trend direction until March 20th. It's a reply to Crypto Gains, who said, "It honestly looks like alts/BTC pairs are going to eat shit and Bitcoin dominance is going to mark up hard." Which would make sense if Bitcoin were about to move up or down very sharply. If BTC price is indeed set to see massive percentage gains later this year and into 2021, it would make sense for those that can buy the dip. That said, whether we've seen the sharpest dip is still really anybody's guess. Have you bought the dip yet? And what are your thoughts? Let them know in the comment section. Same for us, guys. Let me know in the comment section what your thought is on the whole pandemic, the whole situation about buying. But a little side story to it all is, I don't know personally if getting all your money out of Bitcoin right now is a good idea either. Because one side to it is, should we buy the dip? Second side of it is, should we get our money out of crypto? Should we move it to somewhere else? Should we hoard it to buy down lower? Because that, of course, is equivalent to buying the dip, because you're just kind of taking money out and buying lower. It's kind of the same thing as buying the dip, I would say. And I don't want to talk about that to people because I really don't know, right? I really don't know if that's going to be the best decision to go for, as it's so unpredictable right now, because people are going to be really, really doing some crazy stuff. And there's so much fear, yet also so little to really fear about, in my kind of opinion, that we don't know what they're going to be doing. And we don't know how Bitcoin is going to be reacting to it. Maybe this was already the dip. Maybe this is the lowest it will go. Maybe it's just going to skyrocket from here on forward. Maybe it's going to only take 2 weeks with smaller downwards falling coming up later, as kind of seen here. We're going to just follow the model and then skyrocket back upwards. Following the red line here. Maybe that's what we're going to be doing. Maybe. You guys know what I'm trying to say there? There's so much that could be going on that it's really difficult to see or say whether you take your money out right now. Maybe you're already too late for taking your money out, right? Maybe you should have done it a long time ago or not at all. Maybe shorting on BitMEX is the best idea. Maybe shorting is the worst idea. It's difficult. Han Solo said, "Did you buy it?" XRP. And this tweet comes from, I think, tonight. Well, I guess that wasn't really a good idea if you bought tonight. I don't know if it was a joke to kind of state like, hey, did you buy because the prices are going to be going up? Or if you just asked, if you buy out of curiosity or because the prices are going to be falling down further to kind of mock people. But if you bought, it probably wasn't the best idea as it's looking like right now. But in reality, the price is not that far down from here actually. 2075, 2066. So you didn't really lose that much money yet. You can kind of wing it possibly. And again, I think BitMEX is a little bit too far to go for. I think it's too hectic and too many huge volatile moves are going to be happening to be able to make money. I think you're going to lose a lot of money, most likely, in a very short amount of time by going on BitMEX. Kind of left it behind me to go in these crazy times. I think it's a lot better in like bullish times to go on leverage on BitMEX because people do more predictable things because they're all happy. Right now, people are fearful and you really don't know what to predict and what to expect. Why traders are not worried despite $26 billion loss from Bitcoin and altcoins. Well, to me, it's all about over a longer term period, it's all going to be fine. Whereas if that was not the case for me, for example, for any coin, miscellaneous coin, I guess at the bottom, for example, this coin right here, never heard of in my life, right? This coin I've never seen before, don't know what it is. Well, if you ask me, is that coin going to recover? I don't know. I have never heard about it. I don't know what it does. I don't know if there's real utility behind it, if there's real use. So I don't know if it's going to recover. I don't know if people really want to have it in the future. For Bitcoin, for XRP, for a couple other of these coins, I'm so convinced that I don't worry about it, right? The only worry we could make is, should we get out now and buy back lower? But then the other side of that worry is you might mess up by doing that, right? You might become a mat or a bill, how some people like to call it, where you buy high, sell low. You buy at really high prices, thinking the price is going to go up. It moves downward, however, and you then sell because you want to buy down even lower, and then it goes up. You just keep losing money on the way. You don't want to be that guy, which is why sometimes holding is the most safe option, and just buy back lower whenever you can to get your position better. I sometimes like that as well. Pompliano said, someone tell the Bitcoin detractors that oil just dropped more in a single day than Bitcoin ever has. Too much volatility. I actually think this is one of his coolest tweets he's ever done. Normally, I'm not really for a pump. His stance on things is not always agreeing to what I have to say, but really, he does have a point. Some people are saying Bitcoin is not good to go for, XRP is stupid, all these coins are bad because they're so volatile. But we can all see that in fear and in crazy times, market can be exactly that way. And yeah, we're also seeing now that oil can even fall down further, losing even more money. Yeah, it's the way, guys. It's the way that things go. It's the way that things go. Now I have a couple other articles here. U.S. Congressman introduces Cryptocurrency Act of 2020. Haven't read too far into this yet. I just saw it, thought maybe this is something more positive to the whole situation. A United States congressman is the latest working to clarify, determine which U.S. regulator is responsible for which digital assets. On March 9th, Representative Paul Gosar introduced the Cryptocurrency Act 2020, a bill that looks to choreograph a wide range of digital assets to answer the appropriate regulator. This is about to be really quite interesting, I'm assuming. As Will Stechschulte, Gosar's legislative assistant, explained to Cointelegraph, the bill looks to provide not only clarity, but legitimacy to the crypto assets in the United States. Gosar's proposal divides digital assets into three categories: crypto commodity, cryptocurrency, and crypto security. Respectively, the three categories would be governed by the Commodities Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, of course, the Secretary of Treasury, via the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, FinCEN, and of course the SEC. Interestingly, the language of the bill would seem to cement the status of digital assets like Bitcoin as crypto commodities rather than cryptocurrencies. Interesting. The classification of cryptocurrency reads, representation of United States currency or synthetic derivatives, more reminiscent of stablecoins like Tether USD. The language behind crypto securities remains familiar: all debt, equity, and derivative instruments that rest on a blockchain or decentralized cryptographic ledger. As to non-fungible tokens, the bill makes no mention. Well, what I like to know about really is this part, as what will it be classified, right? Crypto commodity, cryptocurrency, crypto, what was the other one? Crypto security. They will all have their different sets of benefits and losses, or I guess bad sides, specifically to tax, right? Specifically to what is allowed, specifically to what you can do with it without kind of writing it down. I think it's going to be really interesting. I think also it's going to matter for what bigger players want to hop on and whatever. But I guess it's not completely confirmed. It's not all out there yet. It's kind of in the cards. So more about that will be seen. But I thought it was just kind of a more positive approach to this whole crypto ordeal. A more positive outlook, more positive view on all the bad things that are happening in crypto right now. Because, I mean, -1, -1, -1.7, -2.5 on the hourly, not even the daily. -3.5, 3.5. -15 on the daily, -15, -10, it's really going down right now. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this crypto video, you learned something new, make sure you press the like button. If you guys want to support the channel, you know how to do that. You know how to subscribe. You know how to press the like button. If you want to donate some XRP, you don't have to, but I put a link thingy on the top right, the XRP tip bot type of icon. A couple people requested me to do that. I saw some others do it as well. I thought, you know what? Let me put it right there. I guess better not now. Better save up your money just to yeah, prepare for these bad times. But I just wanted to let you guys know it's there for if people wanted it to. And again, I have a Twitter. Make sure you follow me on there. And make sure you check out all the links in the description. Buy yourself a hard wallet. Don't lose your money. Maybe stay away from doing some crazy stuff right now. If you're going to buy the dip, do it with margins. Don't do it too crazy. And just be prepared that prices could go down a frick ton further. Even Cardano's founder, Charles Hoskinson, I just watched one of his live streams. He explained it again as well. We don't know what people are going to be doing, but this pandemic could really bring some crazy stuff with it. So watch out, be careful, and I'll see you guys again in another crypto video. Take care, everybody, and have a very, very nice day.